another one.
So this one says, just graduated, ISTQB certified, and I can't find a damn job. All right. So it says, I'm a recent computer science graduate. A few months ago, I started learning software testing, quality assurance. I have ISTQB, not V1, not V2, not V3, but V4 foundation level. So for those who don't know, ISTQB is a quality assurance certification that you can study for this test, and then you get all these concepts and all this theory, and then you go and you take a test, and then if you pass, you get the beautiful certificate that says ISTQB, and it's the version of it, foundation level, right? So I know Python, JavaScript, and some Java. I have some basic knowledge of Selenium and Postman, but I have no real testing experience. I can't get any answers from job applications. Everyone recommends Java. Should I continue with Python and JavaScript, which I am better at, or should I continue with Java, TestNG, and Cucumber? How can I gain experience as a tester or create projects to put on my resume or on GitHub? I just have a simple Selenium test automation project right now. Well, that question seems right up my alley. Let's get the timer started. So, first and foremost, although you're a computer science graduate, right? I guess the question is, number one, how does your resume look? Number two, did you do any internships while you were in college? Number three, how did you get into software testing? And what made you go and get ISTQB V4 foundation level? What made you get any ISTQB? Right? So I think it's good that you know Python and JavaScript. If you know Python and JavaScript, I would recommend then that you also learn Java if you want to be doing automation, because while I think I had a breakdown of this the other day, but while Python and JavaScript are good for Selenium and stuff like that, I still believe that Java is the most desired one for Selenium. And being that you're a computer science graduate and you know coding, you should be able to pick up on Java. And a lot of times people also, they try to go to the route of least resistance. But if everyone knows Python and JavaScript, then you're going to be fighting for the same jobs with everyone else, while Java is a more complex language, and you should be able to pick that one up and stand out. Now, say you have a basic knowledge of Selenium and Postman. Well, I'm going to tell you that is going to be a problem for you, because you need to have depending on the role that you're trying to get into, right? You need to have a strong understanding of Selenium, automation, things like that. And you also need to have a strong understanding and knowledge of API testing, which most API testing is done through Postman manually. You're also with Java or Python or JavaScript, you can also test APIs in an automated fashion, which is my number one recommendation. Now we get to the real problem. You have no real testing experience. And you're probably thinking well, how do I get testing experience? Being that you are a computer science graduate, I would suspect that you have built some type of application before. And I think one of the biggest mistakes that from what I've seen from people who are coming out of college, especially for computer science, they don't really do unit testing. And it goes further than college, because people who take boot camps, I haven't seen an online course or a boot camp actually teach unit testing or testing in general. So I think that in order to get quote unquote real testing experience, it's going to be hard to get real testing experience if you're not working on a real application. Because you could easily go and to like one of the first videos that I did on YouTube was automating Uber Eats and automating what else did we do? We did maybe DoorDash and stuff like that. But it's not going to give you that real experience because you're not in the day-to-day process. Hopefully, like being a recent computer science graduate, hopefully you have some other friends who are computer science graduates as well. And let's say you were to get together, like, and you were to build an application and you say, okay, let's actually mimic the whole entire software development lifecycle where I'm going to be the QA person. You can be the software engineer, whatever the case may be. And then you actually write stories and you point them just like we would do in Scrum. We have the meetings. And then you actually work, like as a developer is working, you write your test cases, your test plan, and you also test it in the same manner. So that means you're going to test it. You're going to write your automated tests, do your API tests and things like that. To me, that is like working on a real application, coming up with something that can actually put value into the world is the premier way outside of actually working for a company to get real testing experience. Many people, they neglect doing that. And I think that is so detrimental to your growth and your development. So now you ask, should you continue, everyone working in Java, should you continue with Python and JavaScript, which you are better at, which really doesn't matter if you're better at it or not. It's not what you're good at. It's what is going to get you to where you want to be. And I would say while you continue with Python and JavaScript, you should also learn in Java, definitely TestNG, which is the premier repository or premier library for testing for QA, for like QA testing in Java. And then Cucumber, you could, I mean, that one, I don't know how popular that is nowadays for Java, you know. But like I said, how do you gain real experience is by actually working on real things. So like join communities, find people who are building something and they don't have any QA, and you volunteer to be the QA person. And now it actually gives you something that you can actually talk about. Something you can put on your resume, a real project. Guess what? Do you know how many GitHub accounts I've been to from seeing them on a resume? All right, I'll be honest. I do take a quick look at them sometimes because I'm just curious. But I'll tell you, most people they don't do that. GitHub accounts, if you're not building something real, they're just graveyards for code, graveyards for projects that people work on that absolutely nobody. Because guess what? I don't have the time to go look at your GitHub projects, to go see your code and stuff like that. So if you're not working on a real project that you can say, oh yeah, this application was built and it's adding value into the world, and you can express that value, then and only then I might actually care about looking at your code behind it to say, okay, what type of test do you have in place? The first thing I do when I go look at code, I go look at the test, because the tests tell me a story. Okay, so. And of course, make sure your resume is good. Make sure you have good interviewing skills and stuff like that. But that's just the basic. I mean, most people suck at their resumes, but it's still one of the basics. Those tips and tricks should help you to know what you need to work on and things like that. All right. So with that being said, let's wrap that question up.
Phone, I can't find a spark. Each day feels like a bug in a broken arc. But my lines of code know me better than they do. In love with these scripts, they hold me true. Conversations fizzle, hearts feel like a chore. Bad dates come and go, but the code's always there. Lines of love in the night, pulling me from despair. These fleeting connections can't break through the strain. I'm lost in these programs, I'm coding my pain. taking too long, but while dinner gets cold, my thoughts start to race. I'd rather be debugging in my own safe space. Is it me or the code that keeps me awake? Awake. Bad days come and go, but the code's always there. Lines of love in the night, pulling me from despair. These fleeting connections can't break through the strain. I'm lost in these programs, I'm coding my pain. So I lay down my heart and let the